All right. There are those who have insinuated that Peter Obi has a morbid fear of primaries. And for someone who has also followed him way back to 2001, during the APGA days.
I didn't follow him. We started 2001.
Okay, you started together
there.
Now,
so we are brothers.
Yes, we are brothers. Then there is this argument that he lost the APGA primary twice to Ralph Nwosu. And somehow he was given the ticket. I think you should know. What's the true position?
Before I go to that question, let me use something to describe to you why the movements we have made and Obi has made can be justified. You know the small animal called the rabbit. You know the rabbit lives in a hole. And in the hole, the rabbit will prepare an exit from where it will go out when there is something danger in the hole. You know, I know you know what you know what I'm talking about. So when hunters see the hole, suspecting that there might be rabbit in it, sometimes it may be a snake. What they do is to go and get a bunch of palm, and then put fire on it, go and put it on the hole. So the smoke will go into the hole. The rabbit will now be choked. It will run out from the exit, emergency exit it has prepared for itself. So if you are there and you've discovered the hole, you go there and wait for it, otherwise it will jump away. So these movements we've made was to avoid this asphyxiating situations we have confronted in the party. Now, coming to take your question on Obi being unable to contest primaries, and that he contested primaries with against Ralph Nwosu and lost twice. And when I see these things, I feel so pained that people can deliberately come to the media and tell lies and peddle falsehood, thinking that everybody is dead. I was a founding member of APGA. I was its first pro-tem national treasurer. At some point, I exited my office and continued to work for the registration of the party, bringing support to the movement. I also brought Obi to be supporting the movement, giving money, everybody to see if the party can be registered. Because at that time, it was only PDP, that was the visible party in our area. So we needed a party that we can use to challenge the PDP. That's how we got into registration of APGA. So I played very critical roles in getting APGA registered. And upon registration of the APGA, I became its first national vice chairman, Southeast, and later on, national treasurer, before I became national chairman. So there's nothing about the party that is not in my palms and in my records. When I left as pro-tem national treasurer, that was when Chubo Kadibo introduced Ralph Nwosu to Chekwa Sokori. And he joined within a period of about 6 months. It didn't last more than 6 months. The party was now registered. And at that time, we were bringing money from everywhere to support the end of the process. So when the party was eventually registered, I became the national vice chairman, Southeast, to go and set up the party in the Southeast. That was the assignment given to me. And along the line, about 4 months after the party was registered, Ralph Nwosu, who had become the national treasurer with my exit less than 1 year, declared the intention to run for governor of Anambra State. So he had to leave office if he wanted to do so. But he decided to remain as national treasurer, and he was running for office of governor in Anambra State. So that was in 2002. But the party was registered on the 22nd of June, 2002. We were in America to attend the World Igbo Congress, in Houston. And one early morning, Nwosu, because I didn't know him much at that time. That was the first time we saw ourselves very closely. He knocked on my room door, and I opened. He came in and started talking to me. That he started to come and meet me. That he would like to run for governor in Anambra State, in 2023. So I said, oh, very good.
2003.
2003. So I said, oh, very, very well. I'm happy to meet you. And I told him, because we had prepared so much for Obi's contest of that election in 2003. Starting from 2001, we had traversed everywhere. We had mobilized support and public acceptance for Peter Obi. So Nwosu hadn't been known in the political field in Anambra State as at that time. So I told him honestly that I will advise him to run for Senate. That the momentum that have been built around Obi with the stakeholders in the state, that I don't see him becoming the APGA governorship candidate. Particularly that I know that Richard Shokwa Sokore had been privy to all these arrangements, so that it will not be possible. My own in politics is that if you meet me today, I'll tell you the truth about any matter. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. If it hurts you, if you go and reflect over it, you must still come back to face that truth that is bitter to you. So we left Houston in October and got home to Anambra State. Immediately we were returning from that World Igbo Congress, Ralph Nwosu had gone to Oka to hold a declaration that he will be running for governor. I said, what type of thing is this? Declaration that he will be running for governor. So he started talking to party folks. I will make you commissioner for special duties. I will make you commissioner for this. I'll make as a politician, he decided to corner the people in the party to tell them that once he gets in, it will be good for everybody. Obi, in his frugal attitude, could not make any of such promises to anybody. So as we were moving, the stakeholders had chosen Obi to be the candidate. In fact, he was the only candidate that could have done that against the PDP. Because as soon as he joined the race, anything he needed to do to be able to be in the race, he did. He went and bought 2 brand new 504 SR saloon cars. At that time, it was a very good car. And himself, who was running against him, you could see the vehicles he was using to go and tell people he will make them this, he will make them that. So, but I was the one who stood by Obi, and as the national vice chairman southeast of the party, I was able to assess them to know who will win the election. I was able to assess the pulse of the state. So I knew that Obi would be unstoppable. So I now stepped in and advised that we should take this the stabilization of the party with these frivolous offers very seriously. And the party decided that it will not conduct any primary because the constitution of the party empowered the party to do selection of candidates. That if the party finds anybody it feels can win an election, they should get the person and give the person the ticket. In 2000, that's for 2003, because we just got registered. That was what the party decided. The party decided that it would do what is called screening of aspirants and select candidates through screening, not primary. And it was advertised that expression of interest, people should come and buy expression of interest for governor. Nwosu did not buy expression of interest. He did not buy. Peter Obi bought, paid 3 million. Others paid 3 million. The screening was for the entire Southeast zone.
3 million then?
Then, and the screening took place at Hotel Presidential in Enugu. I was there, and the chairman of that screening panel was Barrister Mike Zioku, among others, because he was the Deputy National Chairman South in the party. So it was that screening that was done. And that was in December. So the build-up to announcing those who won the screening. In Imo State came Philip Njemanze. In Anambra State, late Mike Obalo and Okoye Aboli Okoye Ago from Anambra State. In Enugu, it was Ugochukwu Abala who bought the expression of interest. In Abia, it was Carlo Okpozo that bought the form because people were not coming. And when we did that, the party published those who won the screening exercise and announced them as the candidates of the party. Nwosu did not come to the screening. It was when we were doing the screening that we heard in the news that he organized a primary at Manu Hotel Owerri and declared himself the winner of the primary without the leadership of the party involved in that. That is the primary he said he won against Peter Obi till date. So I don't know why somebody should be, even Chekwa Sokorie can tell you this, because he was the national chairman. And when that happened, he now noticed that Obi has been chosen through that screening exercise. Ralph Nwosu came to Abuja here with the national secretary of the party, Said Baba Abdullahi, and they addressed the press in Abuja here on the 30th of December, or 31st of December, 2002, and announced the expulsion of Chekwa Sokorie and some other people from the party, and announced himself the governorship candidate of the APGA. We left, all of us left the East and proceeded to Abuja. We arrived at Abuja here on the 31st and had a formal National Working Committee meeting of the party where we suspended them. Then we fixed a convention for, I believe, 10th of January, 2003. At that convention, the party expelled Nwosu and his co-traveler, Alhaji Said Abdullahi. Two of them were expelled from the party. And we continued. It was at that convention that I was asked to become the national treasurer again, which I had vacated to become the national vice chairman Southeast. You see? So that is it. So to answer that question clearly, Peter Obi did not contest any primary with Nwosu. Once, not to talk about twice, and Nwosu won. Not at all. So when I saw him also telling the story recently on a television, I wondered how somebody can be telling himself lies and thinks that he can sustain it till the end. And people will be buying it, that he defeated Obi in a primary. Nwosu was no match to Peter Obi in that contest for APGA ticket. Not in terms of resources, not in terms of connections, not in terms of focus and integrity and character. So I don't like people going out to talk down somebody because of their convenience. Now, today, we have been part of the ADC. His party was ADC. At that time, we had strained relationships for some time, but along the line, we came back together again because we are from the same state. And I started having good relationship with him again because he saw clearly that what I told him will happen, happened. Obi went to that election with all the challenges and odds against the party in 2003, and he won. If it were to be Nwosu at that time, APGA wouldn't have won the election. So nobody would have heard about APGA. And because I was the pillar of that struggle with my experience, I stood for Obi in the courts. I was the PW1, prosecution witness number 1, that tendered all the results of the election in 2003 for Peter Obi, because I was the state collation agent for him. I was the one that planned the election for APGA at that time, because we first had the National Assembly election. APGA won both everywhere, but they changed it in favor of PDP. I only managed to secure the Federal House of Representatives seat for my constituency, Anocha Njikoka Dunuko Federal Constituency, because both myself and Obi were from the same constituency. So all the things they did, I didn't allow them in INEC to steal that one. The REC let Alaj Hassan Suleiman from Kano. I told him he must not fail to declare this result because there's nothing to wait for. PDP was already waiting to bring in figures from outside to come and change it again. I insisted, I made noise, and I ordered them to declare the result. That was the only House of Rep seat we got in 2003 because I protected it. So having seen that the results, they allowed the elections to take place in the polling units, and we got all the polling booth results, EC8A ones, for that election. We now decided to prepare for the governorship, that they will do the same thing. They will conduct the election again and go higher up to allocate figures and announce a PDP candidate. So we told our agents to go after the polling booth results on the day of the governorship election. So while the election was taking place and they were announcing results, our agents were busy getting the EC8A ones, returning them to Peter Obi's home, where we had set up a desk for collection of these EC8A ones. So by the time the exercise ended, they announced PDP winner of the election. I returned to our situation room, and we had got all the polling booth results stacked, and it was taken to the bank for safekeeping. And we announced that we were going to challenge the result in the court. That's why we went, and I was the PW1 that tendered the entire polling booth result, EC8A1s, in the entire local governments of Anambra State. I proved it. I was in the witness box for 1 month, September 1 to September 29, 2003. I was able to withstand the cross-examination from the senior advocates that represented INEC, represented Ngige, and represented the PDP. They subjected me to very grueling drill on those evidence I adduced. They couldn't discredit my evidence. So that was why, in the end, the tribunal determined that Obi won the election. And that took us nearly 3 years to prove in court, 30 months, So that is when people come out today and say things that they don't know about, I pity them. It was during the prosecution of this petition that we had further crisis in APGA. That was what led the change of baton from Chekwas Okorie to me. Because Chekwas Okorie went to support Ngige, who his party stole our mandate. He went to him and told him to join APGA. Not even to join APGA, he declared support for him. That he has never seen anywhere where a governor was unseated in Nigeria. It was this our election petition that removed somebody for the first time in court in Nigeria. So Peter is not somebody that is given to very easy routes. So we went through the court and then to Court of Appeal. A lot of things happened. And eventually, on the 16th of March, 2006, the Court of Appeal in Enugu declared that Peter Obi won the election. And it was sworn in on 17th of March, 2006, after nearly 3 years. So he faced impeachment again, and we fought through the courts and got him reinstated. So he's not somebody you can push over. He's very, if you see him, because he's very humble, you mistake his will. His willpower is immense. And he's somebody who can last. He's very resilient. He's very tenacious. So when we came in 2023, and they were saying he will soon run away, I said, these people don't know who they have met. So we continued with that in 2023, and he gave that result he gave. So Nwosu, in summary, should tell himself the truth. He never contested any primary with Peter Obi. Because contest of primary is when you are voted for, not when you are running around, say you are an aspirant. That's not the contest. The contest is when you are subjected to a vote. So Peter Obi and Nwosu were never subjected to a vote through a primary, because I've told you the circumstance of our selection of our candidates across Nigeria, not only in Anambra State.